Hello yogis, my name is April and welcome to the Yoga Ranger Studio and welcome to your practice today. Today we're going to be working with restorative yoga for the third eye chakra. The third eye being that space right between the center of the eyebrows, the center of the forehead, this place of our intuition, our knowing, almost as if we sort of have a little library in there of experience, of information, and without us knowing we're knowing, we know. Some people feel their intuition in different ways and tap into it in different ways, and you may not even know you're using your intuition or accessing it, but you do something that wouldn't make sense to somebody else, but it makes perfect sense to you given your knowledge, your situation, and your information that you have available to you. So tapping into our intuition here, we're going to do some poses that work with kind of focusing on this space of that third eye chakra, compressing it just a little bit, so poses that help really compress that, and an inversion, a supported inversion for ourselves. So for this practice, a blanket underneath would be nice, but it's not absolutely necessary. Sometimes comfortable and restorative, particularly to have something a little softer underneath, so any blanket will work. A towel or two, or a yoga blanket like I have here. We're going to use that for a little support for a couple of our postures. A bolster, but if you don't have a bolster, a couple of pillows or throw pillows or pillows off your bed would work really well too. If they're really soft, maybe 2 or 3. If they're a little firmer, maybe just 1 or 2. And a couple of blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use books or book sets, or you could even use throw pillows off your bed for that support as well. So we're going to start with a wide seated forward fold, and we're going to use our blocks to give us a little support here. So setting the blocks up, maybe one on the highest height and one on the lowest, or you might even just use one. Some people just use one in this pose. I like to have 2 sometimes, or you can even do them side by side, which would give you a little bit more support. We're going to make a little ramp up here, and I like to sit on a folded blanket because that allows my pelvis to naturally tilt forward. So sitting on the very edge of the blanket, we're going to bring our stack all the way in. We're going to take our feet wide, taking that bolster right in between your legs. And your feet don't have to go as wide as they normally would. They could go a little less, a little bit more. Bringing those blocks in a little bit closer, depending on how your forward fold is, and everybody has a different forward fold. We're not trying to push too much here. This is restorative, we're relaxing. You might need to bring those blocks in closer so they're really upright, and then forward fold into it. Or if you have more space in your body today, you can take those blocks away from you and just relax and wrap your arms around them and take your forehead to the blocks, or all the way down to the floor, or just use the blocks for a soft prop. So doing whatever feels good for you. Today I'm a little bit tighter in my hamstrings. I'm going to bend my knees a little bit to give them some softness. You can also place blankets or pillows underneath your knees. And just softening your forehead down to that pillow. Restorative, we let the props give us all the support we need. There's no effort here. We just relax and release. The pose will do all the work for us. And just tapping into your breath here. Sometimes when you're feeling particularly fast-paced or disturbed or unable to really focus, it feels nice to put a little bit of pressure on the space of the third eye with your hands or a block or a bolster, just for a few minutes. It helps calm and settle. Noticing your breath, allowing your awareness to softly settle in the space of your third eye, the center of your forehead between your eyebrows. Very gently starting to lift your head. Use your hands to press yourself up super slow. Moving slow throughout our practice. And then taking your hands to the inside of your knees, bending those knees using your hands, which will be a little bit easier on your joints. We're going to take those blocks off to the side. We're going to move over to the wall. So if you don't have a wall space that's empty, you can use the head of your bed or the edge of your bed or a sofa or a chair. And we're going to take the bolster maybe about 4 to 5 inches away from the wall. We're going to take our blanket or towel and we're going to roll it up the short end. We're going to put that right up against our bolster, press it down just a little bit. We're going to take feet up the wall. It's going to give us a little bit of an inversion all the way down the body. So an inversion is any time like your feet are above your head, or more likely your heart is above your head. So we're going to take that into this pose here. So the easiest way to take feet up the wall, where you get as close as you can get, is to sit on the very edge of whatever you are on, like the bolster or pillow, or on the floor, and take one hip as far as you can. So leaning over, taking that hip up the wall, and then starting to come down, and then flipping those feet over. Here you can make some adjustments. Now in restorative, it's not terribly important to have your legs or your hips right up against the wall. In fact, I find that feels a little restrictive, especially since I have kind of tight hamstrings. You can take your feet a little bit further apart, hands alongside your hips or out to the side in a T, settling that rounded bolster in the natural curve of your back. So I'll give you that little bit of support here. Then we have this nice inverted position. And just settling in here. It often seems when we first get into a pose that things are not quite right, and just sort of readjusting, wiggling into place, and then settling in and just letting your body be supported, be fully relaxed. If this is a lot for your lower back, you can always bend your knees, take your feet up against the wall a little bit at an angle or straight. Deepening your breath. Here again, letting your awareness just rest in that space of your third eye, your intuition. Feeling yourself open up to whatever your intuition has to offer you. Listening and connecting to it, allowing it to be your guide in your life and everything that you do. Taking some nice deep inhales through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. One more time, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Feeling all your tension release, your body softening into the support of the props in the ground beneath you, and feeling the props in the ground beneath you rise up to hold you and support you. Gently beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Sliding your feet so your knees are bent, feet are flat against the wall. And then gently just letting your knees fall over to the right or the left, whichever has more space for you. And slowly making your way up to a seat. Taking hands together and placing your thumbs on that center space of your third eye. Seeking to honor your intuition. Bring your hands together down to heart center. I thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. May you be happy. May you be safe and protected, and may you live in this world peacefully and with ease.